There's a cycle I want to name today because I think you've lived it and I think it's being mislabeled everywhere. You start strong, you post consistently for a week, maybe two, you feel momentum, you feel visible, and then something shifts. You go quiet and disappear for 10 days. When you come back, you tell yourself the same story. I'm just bad at being consistent. That story is costing you because it's wrong. What I want to offer you today is a different diagnosis, one that changes what you actually do next. Stay with me because by the end of this, the pattern you've been blaming yourself for is going to look completely different. Here's what I've seen in my own work and in the women I work with closely. Inconsistency almost never comes from laziness. It's almost never from not caring enough or not wanting it badly enough. It comes from a structural mismatch. Most business systems, most content strategies, visibility plans are built on one assumption, that you have stable energy every day, that you can make the exact same number of decisions on a Tuesday when everything's flowing as you can on a Thursday when you're running on empty and life has lifed. That assumption is wrong for a lot of us. And when the system assumes stable energy and your energy fluctuates, that system collapses. And then you take the blame for a design that was never built to work with you or for you. That's the reframe. It's not a you problem, it's a design problem. When we take that mislabeled, I'm just inconsistent story and run it through the standard business advice machine, here's what comes back. Post more, batch your content, build discipline, show up every day, hire a VA, get a system planned out. And I want to be honest with you about what that does to a nervous system that's already stretched. It adds decisions and pressure. It adds a performance standard on top of an already overloaded system. Now what happens? The very next time your capacity dips because you're human, the whole structure collapses again. And you just feel inconsistent. You also feel like you failed at the solution. This is the loop, and it continues as long as the diagnosis is wrong. So let's get this right. What I've come to understand through my own work and through working with my clients who are sensitive, intuitive, and genuinely high capacity is that visibility isn't primarily a strategy problem. It's a nervous system problem. When your system already has decision fatigue, when you're scanning for what to post and how to say it, whether it's good enough, what people will think, each of those micro decisions costs something. They cost cognitive load. They cost your energy. And when those costs accumulate, your system does what any regulated system does when overloaded. It shuts down and goes quiet. The disappearance isn't failure. It's your nervous system actually protecting you from a structure that asks too much. So the question worth asking then is this. What would a visibility structure look like if it was actually designed for fluctuating energy? What if it required fewer decisions, not more? What if it supported you even on low energy days? Those are the questions I started asking in my business. The first shift I made was reducing decisions. I stopped asking myself every week what to post. I stopped staring at the blank screen with the blinking cursor, trying to generate content from scratch when my energy was already low. I created a simple repeating structure that gave me every given week what content went where, and getting it done was simple. Here's what I noticed. I showed up more consistently with that single structural change than after months of trying to discipline myself into consistency. The second shift was about expression, and this one surprised me. I was trying to record a reel recently, and I had written out my script, refined it, tried to make it appeal, to smooth the edges, and the more I filtered it, the less clear my message became. So the energy just went flat. I recorded take after take and nothing landed. So I put the script down and just spoke. Closer to my original thought, closer to how I'd say it to a client sitting across from me. It landed in one take. Visibility strengthens when our expression stays intact. The filtering that feels protective is often the exact thing dissolving the signal. I want to be transparent with you about where this understanding comes from for me because I think it matters. I grew up in an environment where I learned very early to monitor tone before I spoke, to soften my statements and make myself easy to get along with, not take up too much space in case it triggered something. That training was useful in certain contexts, kept things calm, but it followed me into my business. I over-refined and over-filtered. I shrunk my message down, trying to make it safe for everyone, and in doing that, I made it useful for almost no one. Learning to speak more closely to my original thought, to trust my first and clearest version of what I want to say, was both a business strategy and a personal one. And for many of the women I work with, it's the same. The visibility challenge and the self-trust challenge are often the same, just in different clothes. Now, if what I've described today sounds like your cycle, I want to tell you about something I built specifically for this. The Social Spell Collective is my school community. It's just $12 a month, and what it does is remove the decisions. Every month, you get done for you spiritual social content, posts, captions, SEO blog content, all crafted to sound like you, to feel aligned, and to remove that friction between having something to say and showing up to actually say it. Your only job is to actually use it. It's built for women who are capable and sensitive and ready to stop white-knuckling their visibility. It's not a transformation program, it's a stabilizer. So steady presence, lower decision-making needs, and that steady presence leads to more visibility. So if this feels like relief as I'm describing it, check the link in the description. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. And if this landed, subscribe so you hear what comes next. I'll see you in the next one.